They say secrets destroy relationships, but I never thought I'd discover one hidden right in my own bedroom. It started on an ordinary Saturday. I was cleaning out the closet, moving boxes around, when my hand brushed against something tucked far in the back. A shoebox. Nothing unusual, until I opened it. Inside were letters. Dozens of them. All written to the same woman. Her name was Clara. And the handwriting? It was his. My husband's. At first, my heart sank. The words on those pages weren't casual. They were intimate. Emotional. The kind of words a man writes when he's deeply in love. But here's the thing, none of those letters were ever sent. Then I saw the photos. Old, faded pictures of a woman I had never met. She was beautiful, smiling, always looking straight at the camera. And on the back of one photo, in his handwriting, it said, "Forever, no matter what." My chest tightened. My hands shook. Who was Clara? Why was he writing to her? And why did he keep this hidden from me? That night, when he came home, I didn't say a word. I just watched him. Every smile, every touch suddenly felt fake, like I didn't really know the man sitting across from me. But the strangest part? He had no idea that his secret was no longer safe. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. Clara. That smile, frozen in time, haunting me. I kept asking myself, was she someone from his past? A secret lover? Maybe even someone he still saw behind my back? By morning, I had convinced myself I needed answers. But I couldn't just confront him right away. If he lied, I'd never know the truth. So instead, I decided to watch him closely. The first sign came at breakfast. His phone buzzed on the table. He glanced at it, then flipped it over quickly, face down. My heart skipped. Normally, he never hid his phone. I asked casually, "Who's that?" He smiled, way too easily. Work. Always work. But something in his tone didn't feel right. Later that day, when he went to shower, I checked his phone. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped it. But the strange thing was, there was nothing. No messages, no strange calls, not even a trace of something suspicious. It was too clean. Too perfect. Almost like he had deleted everything. That's when my stomach dropped. What if he was smarter than I thought? What if Clara wasn't just a memory in a box, but a part of his life right now? I went back to the shoebox. I read every letter. The words didn't just speak of love, they spoke of longing, of regret, of promises he couldn't keep. And one phrase kept repeating, "I'll find a way back to you. Back to you." The words echoed in my head. Back. That meant she wasn't new. She was someone from before me. That evening, I finally asked him a simple question. Do you ever think about the past? About people you once loved? For a moment, his face froze. Just for a second. Then he laughed it off. Of course not. That's all behind me. But I saw it. The flicker in his eyes. The way his hand tightened around his glass. He was lying. And that lie only pushed me deeper into a truth I wasn't sure I was ready to face. The following week felt like torture. Every moment with him was painted by suspicion. His smile seemed rehearsed. His late nights at the office, suspicious. Even the way he hugged me goodnight felt different, like his mind was somewhere else. But I wasn't going to sit around waiting for the truth to fall into my lap. I needed proof. One afternoon, when he left for work, I went searching. I tore through drawers, cabinets, even the garage. Nothing. But when I checked the inside pocket of his winter coat, I froze. There it was, another letter. Folded neatly, with her name on it. Clara. This one was different. It wasn't old or yellowed with age. The ink was fresh. The paper crisp. And the words, they cut into me like knives. I see you in my dreams every night. I can't forget you. One day, I'll make it right. One day, we'll be together again. I felt the air leave my lungs. This wasn't just some ghost from the past. He was still writing to her. Still thinking of her. When he came home that evening, I pretended nothing had changed. But inside, I was crumbling. Every laugh, every kiss, every I love you felt poisoned. I started watching him closer, checking his phone records, following his routine. And that's when I noticed something strange. Every Thursday evening, he stayed late at work. But when I called his office once, no one answered. Later, I asked one of his coworkers casually if he had been in. Their confused expression told me everything I needed to know. He wasn't at work. The next Thursday, I decided to follow him. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly they ached. I kept my distance, watching his car turn down streets I didn't recognize. Finally, he pulled into a quiet neighborhood. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. He parked in front of a small house. And then, he just sat there. 4 minutes. Like he was gathering the courage to go in. Finally, the door opened. And out stepped a woman. I couldn't see her face clearly from where I was, but I saw the way he looked at her. Like his whole world was right there in front of him. His body leaned forward. His smile widened in a way it never did with me anymore. She walked closer, and when the porch light hit her face, I felt the blood drain from mine. Because she looked exactly like the woman in the photographs. Clara was real. Alive. And standing right in front of him. I had my answer. But it wasn't the relief I thought it would be. It was worse. Much worse. Because if he could hide this from me for so long, what else was he capable of hiding? I sat there in my car, frozen, watching as the woman, Clara, walked closer to him. He didn't hesitate. He stepped out of the car, and for a moment, I thought my heart would stop. He hugged her. Not the polite kind of hug you give a friend or an old acquaintance. No. This was slow, lingering. The kind of embrace that said everything words never could. Tears blurred my vision, but I forced myself to keep watching. I needed to know more. They didn't go into her house. Instead, they stood outside, talking quietly. I cracked my window just enough to hear fragments. Can't keep this up. Clara's voice trembled. I promised you. I'll fix it, just give me time, my husband whispered back. Fix it? Fix what? When he finally left, I stayed behind, staring at the little house. My whole body screamed at me to knock on the door, to demand the truth. But something inside told me I wasn't ready. Not yet. The next day, I couldn't take it anymore. While he was at work, I went back to that neighborhood. The house was quiet, but the mailbox had her name on it, Clara Mason. I wrote it down, and later, I searched everything I could about her. What I found made my skin crawl. Clara wasn't just some random woman. She was his fiancée. From years ago. The woman he was supposed to marry before he met me. But the story didn't end there. According to old news articles, Clara had disappeared right before their wedding. Vanished. No trace, no goodbye. People assumed she had run away, maybe cold feet. But her family, they claimed she was taken. I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. How could he be meeting with her now? If she disappeared, where had she been all this time? And why was he still hiding her from me? That night, I looked at him differently. Every word, every smile, every casual I love you felt like a performance. Because now I wasn't just wondering if he was unfaithful. I was starting to wonder what role he had played in her disappearance. And for the first time, I was afraid of the man lying next to me in bed. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, every nerve in my body screaming. Clara hadn't just been his past. She was still here. Still alive. And if she had really disappeared, then my husband had been hiding more than just a broken heart. The next day, I decided I couldn't live in the dark anymore. I drove back to her house, this time in daylight. My hands trembled as I knocked on the door. For a long moment, nothing. Then the door creaked open, and there she was. Clara. The same face from the photos, only older, heavier with time and sadness. Her eyes widened when she saw me. You shouldn't be here. My stomach twisted. I'm his wife. Her face paled. She looked over her shoulder nervously before pulling me inside. The air in the house was heavy, like it held years of secrets. She sat me down, her hands shaking as she poured tea neither of us touched. Finally, she whispered, I never disappeared. He kept me. For years. I only got away because he let me. On one condition, that I never told anyone. That I stayed hidden. The blood in my veins turned to ice. My husband. The man I thought I knew. But why are you seeing him now? I demanded. Tears filled her eyes. Because he won't let me go. He says he can't live without me. That if I don't come back, he'll make sure you pay the price. I felt the floor tilt beneath me. This wasn't about betrayal anymore. This was obsession. Dangerous, consuming obsession. When I left her house, my mind was spinning. The man waiting at home for me wasn't just unfaithful. He was a liar. A manipulator. And maybe, something far darker. That night, when I walked through the door, he smiled like nothing was wrong. But all I could think was, do I run, or do I finally confront the monster I married? And that's where my story truly begins.